First, it's my first time in Belgrade, and first I want to say it's a really nice city. Yesterday I just walked through downtown, and you just have a very beautiful city. Very nice. What I do, I think I need something here.
You didn't want me back, so I came back. For you guys, you know,
Ooh,
the Serbian people. So by day I'm keynote speaker. By evening I'm a technician. Here we go. Va bene. Good luck.
super, tack. So what I do is I do workshops at advertising agencies, and I work directly with brands. And I do this because marketing and advertising has changed completely. And the question is, for us, we in our agencies don't have digital first brands in it. How do I help my brand I'm taking care of in my advertising agencies? And today, I would like to introduce 2 tools, and each tool is about a circle. And I believe those 2 tools are the key to developing today's modern advertising. And first, I would like to give 4 examples, and as you look at them, maybe you recognize a pattern. The first one is Cheerios. If they would define themselves as being in the cereals business, how would they communicate? They would just talk about the product. But they see themselves as being in the having a great breakfast experience business. And what is a great breakfast experience for people? Many people say, having breakfast together with my family. And so Cheerios started the Family Breakfast Project, where you sign up, and each day you get a suggestion or a tip how to have fun around the breakfast table. Children should set the clothes aside the evening before. You discover a fruit each day. You have conversation starters, just some fun games around the breakfast table. IKEA, if they would see themselves as being in the furniture business, they would talk about their products. And they have nice products. Why shouldn't they talk about the products? But they see themselves as being in the creating my home business. And so if you go to Singapore, you can adopt a dog. Because for many people, a dog says home. Of course they would do that. LinkedIn, if they would see their business as being a network for professionals business, well, they would just talk about the LinkedIn digital service and all its features. But they see their business as having a great career business. And so because of that, they give here this university ranking based on their data, based on which graduate from which university gets the top jobs in that specific industry. Of course, they would help people start having a great career. The 4th one is Coffeetivity. It's a small website and app where maybe you also here you like to go to a cafe and just work there because you just can concentrate nicely. You have this little sound, background sound. And so what they did is they recorded the sound from cafes. So if you work at home or in the office and it's very quiet, you just plug it in and you hear this coffee house sound. If they would see themselves as being in the white noise business, what would they put up on their Facebook page? They would talk about the cafes, the different cafes they recorded the sound in. Or they would talk about the medical studies which prove that you work better with this white noise. No, they see themselves as being in the productivity business, and so if you go on their Facebook page, you get tips how to be more productive. So what are the common things? How did they define their business differently? They defined their business not by the product, but by the outcome. What do I get out of the product? And that changes everything. And this redefining the business is not a trick to get to new solutions or to nice concepts. No, this is actually the business they're in. And a famous Harvard professor said, people don't want to buy a quarter-inch drill, they want a quarter-inch hole. So it's the hole which is the real value. You're selling the whole. People want the whole. So the business, that's the business. It's not the drill. And maybe smart people say, okay, of course people also don't want to have the hole in the wall, they want to have the shelf. So you're in the having a nice shelf on the wall business. And so what we have is a product area, and what we've done is we defined the business area which is larger. And I would like now, you can turn to your neighbor and for 2 minutes talk about and define this brand. I'll just tell you a little bit about it. Gardena is a German brand which produces garden tools, little shovels and stuff like that. So just turn to your neighbor and think about, what do people get out of garden tools? That's how you define a brand. Just take 2 minutes and just do it now. Just talk to your neighbor and think about, so what's the outcome? What's the result from having garden tools? I think that was 2 minutes. What is Gardena's business? What is the outcome? What do you get out of garden tools? Any ideas?
Maybe it's the same as for breakfast and cafeteria. Maybe it's something that is the outcome of the garden business, because it's not about the tools, it's all magic in the garden when you do the...
So, yes, so if you work in a garden and you use the tools, what do you get out of this? What's the result? Pardon? A hole in the ground? Yeah. Well, I think hopefully you want to have more. Maybe it's a hole in the ground. What else? Yeah, but okay, you have this crappy garden, this crappy ground, and now you use tools. And at the end, you have nice flowers, you have a nice garden. Could that be the outcome of garden tools? Having a nice garden. That's why you use the tools, that's the use, that's the outcome. I know, maybe it's also a hole or nice. We want to have nice flowers, and at the end we just look at it and say, "Wow, it's a nice garden." And so the business of Gardena is having a nice garden business. So let's think a little bit further what we've done, what happens when we define the business area. If we go to a car brand and say, cars, with their product, of course, they serve some needs. But you see there are a lot of needs around the product. Parking. I want to have the distance closer of my workplace and to my home place. I want to avoid traffic jams. A lot of needs. But right now, the car brand isn't serving those needs. So we need to define the business, and for a car company that would be, generally speaking, mobility. And by doing so, we enable the brand to serve those needs. Because now it becomes their business. Maybe I'll just share 2 examples of how I worked with it. You also have here Telenor. It's a telecommunications company. So their product is internet connection and mobile phones. Now you can also ask, so what do I get out of this? What's the outcome? What's the result for me? I divide it into a short-term, mid-term, and long-term outcome. The long-term outcome is you can do anything today through the internet. Whatever you want to do, whatever your dream is. You want to write a book? Well, you do crowdfunding, you look how to write, how to design the book. You can also use online tools. You can self-publish it. Super cool. And you promote it also online. No problem. Do you want to live abroad? No problem. Do you want to start a company? No problem. Whatever you want. So if that is their business from Telenor, what could they do? Just as a broad example, let's say at the beginning, what could they do to help people live their dream? Maybe at the beginning, people don't know what they actually dream of or what they should dream of. They don't know what they want. What if I give them a tool they could ask their network? Maybe their network knows them better than they themselves. What if they could use their stores in the evening to have in the real world workshops where you can go and say, I want to write a novel. I'll just go and meet other people, and maybe people they've already written novels. And it's just a platform, maybe in the real world. So I can come up with different ways they could help me live my dream. Would I love Telenor? I would love them for that. Is that their business? It's their business. Here I just take any zoo. It could also be the Belgrade Zoo. The product is the physical zoo. But what is the outcome? The outcome is experiencing animals in a great way business. And it's not only wild animals. I think a lot of zoos have just petting zoos also. So it's just generally animals. And it's surprising, well, where do I experience animals? Of course, also outside the zoo. So how could the zoo help me have a great experience with animals? One thing is, parents want to decorate their room, the children's room, with animal themes. Children want animal books, games, videos, and whatever. Right now, the zoo, they have a souvenir shop only with crappy stuff in it usually. Put in cool stuff, make it as an online store. And what if the Belgrade Zoo, could the Belgrade Zoo also have a pop-up store downtown for Christmas? Could the Belgrade Zoo have a pop-up store not in Belgrade downtown, but in New York. Of course they could. What a great business. Where else do I experience animals? Well, I just open up Facebook. Why isn't the zoo there helping me have a great experience? Why isn't he part of that? Could he enhance and make that to a better experience? Of course he could. What a great business opportunity. So those two examples show when I define the business and make this large circle, I find new ways to do business for my brand as a side effect. And now the next step is when I now defined the area my brand should make business in, what would be the next step? I defined the area and said, okay, in this area I want to make business. Well, the next step is I would ask, what do people want in that area? What are their needs? And so I come to the next tool, the next circle, where I look at what do people want in this area I defined as my business. And it helps me to split it into 3 areas, into the pre, during, and post phase. In the during phase, that's where people use the product and buy the product or service. And they have certain needs there. In the pre-phase, that's where they have to decide. Then that's where they need inspiration and guidance. And in the post-phase, that's where they evaluate, that's where they share, they update, and they have a lot of needs in the post-phase too. And so what this is that I put myself into the shoes of the people. And I walk with them through the pre-phase, during phase, and post-phase, and ask myself, what do they want in this business area of, for example, having a great garden? So let's just do that. Next exercise, last exercise. Let's think about one need in the pre-phase before so the during phase would be, that's where they are in the garden and use the tools and make the garden nice. What would they need before that? And what would they need while they are in the garden and digging? And what do they need when the garden is finished and looks beautiful? So just turn to your neighbor and for 2 minutes find out those 3 needs. One need for the pre, during, and post phase. Are the 2 minutes a little bit over? So maybe let's start with the during phase. That's maybe the easiest. What do they need while they are in the garden digging? Tools? Yeah. What else do they need? Yeah, maybe they don't know how to use the tools. I don't know. Yeah? Need help using the tools? What else? The protection gear, yes. It's just dirty there. They need some, I don't know, they don't want to get dirty. What else? Yes, they need some seeds. Like, okay, what if they have all the stuff there and now they're digging in the garden? Maybe they don't know, where should I put the plant? Here at the wall or over there? Or is that the right plant? Or how much water do the plant needs? I don't know. I think there are a lot of needs there, huh? While they're in the garden and getting the garden ready. I think there are a lot of needs there. A lot of needs besides just needing tools. What would be needs before that, in the pre-phase? Before they start going into the garden and doing stuff. What are their needs there? What did you discuss? Yeah. They don't know how does a great garden look like. And maybe also, yes, I know a lot of great gardens, but what would be the right, nice garden for my ground? Yes, a lot of knowledge. Right. What else? A plan, right. They just see this little ground there and they don't know what are the next steps. So a lot of needs. What's in the post phase? When the garden looks beautiful, what do they need then at the end? Yeah, they're proud of it and say, wow, let's party here. Yeah, first, Instagram pictures, of course. But then let's just enjoy this garden. Just have a garden party or whatever, Finally, the garden looks nice. Okay, let's now, enjoy it. Yeah, the garden doesn't stop, huh? It's just growing and, winter's coming, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, everything. There's all the time something's happening. Okay, so we found out that there are a lot of needs and a lot of possibilities for Gardena to do something and not just providing the garden tools. And if we are already at this model, to really use that model, or next step would be to say, could we in the pre-phase go really early into the life of the people and be there even earlier than my competitor? And then try to be as long as possible in the lives of the people, as long as possible in the post-phase. Of course, we want to be long in the lives of the people and have an impact there. Of course, we want to be really early in the pre-phase so we can build trust with the people, so they trust us, and we can influence them in the right way. So what would be needs really early in the pre-phase? That could be, for example, well, I want to have a garden, but I don't have the money. What could they finance that for me, help me finance a garden? Or what if I live here downtown Belgrade, but I would like to have a garden, but, well, it's a bit difficult. Why couldn't they talk with the city so they can organize a ground so I can have an urban garden project with my neighbors? That would be... Something happened here with my slides again. So that will be in the pre-phase. What would be late in the post-phase? Maybe late in the post-phase is, well, the summer was there, winter is coming. I could maybe sit down and say, I would evaluate. I would say, so what did I do good in the summertime? What's my learning? What went good and what went bad? And what would I do differently the following year? Should Gardena help me do that? Of course, they could also help me get the right learning. And so this putting myself into the shoes of the people to find out what people need is is one way to find out people's needs. The other way is to finally get out of the office of the agency and meet the people. And the third one is to use data. And then we write all the needs of the people in our model. And then finally, we mark the needs which are not being served right now, and then we look at technology, and really systematically. We go through all the technology, all the digital servers, all the stuff. But not only digital technology, we could also look at with retail design or whatever, anything, to come up with a solution how to solve needs which are not being served. And then, when we have a solution, then we build it fastly and we test it. So at the end, we have a solution which works. At the end, we have happy people. And when we have happy people, well, the brand grows and is successful. That's what we wanted to have all the way. So, what happened? What did we do now? What have we done? So we defined the business area. We looked at what are people's needs here. And then we saw, okay, there are needs which are not being served, and then we came up with solutions. For example, we came up with a solution to say, why don't we help families have breakfast together? Or why don't we give people a dog more easy? Or why don't we give them a university ranking so they can find the right place to study? Or why don't we give them tips how to be more productive? Or for Gardena, we came up with a lot of things Gardena could do to have happy people. What if our role as inside the agency is to help my brand serve people better? Would my job become more meaningful? Of course it would. Did you see that we forgot the product? Yes. We put the product aside because we defined the business area. Was it about the great idea? No. We came up with solution for unmet, unserved needs. Are we doing a campaign which is limited by time? No, our solution should work in the long run. So tomorrow, when you're at your agency, you look at your client on your paper, and then you define their business. And then you find out what their needs are. And that's the big magic. Be awesome. Thank you.